He loved her silently, the way people love when they are afraid of losing even the smallest chance. He never said it out loud, never wrapped the words in promises or dramatic confessions. His love lived in small things, remembering how she liked her tea, waiting for her messages late into the night, adjusting his schedule just to hear her voice for a few minutes. He believed love did not need noise to be real. She was warmth in his otherwise routine life. When she smiled, he felt seen. When she spoke, he listened as if every word mattered. He became her quiet support, the one who stayed behind the scenes while she lived freely. He never questioned her absences or her changing moods. He trusted her, because loving her meant trusting her completely. Their relationship did not look extraordinary from the outside. No public displays, no dramatic declarations. Just two people walking side by side, sharing laughter, sharing silence. But for him, she was everything. He carried her presence into his lonely hours, imagining a future he never dared to ask for. Sometimes, late at night, he typed messages he never sent. Words like "I miss you" or "I love you" stayed locked inside his chest. He convinced himself that silence was safer. Silence meant she would stay. Silence meant he wouldn't scare her away. But slowly, things began to change. Her replies grew shorter. Her laughter sounded distant. She started cancelling plans with excuses that felt rehearsed. He noticed, but he chose patience over doubt. He believed love required endurance. He told himself she was just busy. He told himself everyone changes. What he didn't tell himself was the fear growing quietly inside him. There were moments when he felt invisible standing right next to her. Moments when she smiled at her phone instead of at him. Still, he stayed. Still, he waited. Because silent love often convinces itself that pain is temporary. He didn't know then that silence wouldn't protect him. It would break him. The distance didn't arrive suddenly. It crept in slowly, disguising itself as normal change. She was there, yet not present. Her eyes wandered when he spoke. Her phone became something she guarded. He noticed the way she smiled differently now, soft, secretive, reserved for someone else. He noticed the pauses before she answered simple questions. Still, he stayed silent. Confrontation felt heavier than heartbreak. One evening, while sitting beside her, he saw a name flash on her phone. A name he didn't recognize. The message disappeared quickly, but the smile remained. It wasn't meant for him. That night, sleep abandoned him. His mind replayed moments he had ignored. Late replies. Sudden plans. Emotional distance. The truth pressed against his chest, heavy and undeniable. Days later, he asked her gently. No accusations. Just honesty. Her reaction told him everything before her words did. She avoided his eyes. Her silence screamed louder than any confession. She admitted it without detail. She said it just happened. She said she didn't mean to hurt him. But pain doesn't need intention to exist. He listened quietly as she explained feelings, confusion, and mistakes. Each word cut deeper than the last. He realized then that while he was loving her silently, she was loving someone else loudly. The betrayal wasn't just that she chose someone else. It was that she let him keep loving her while knowing she had already left emotionally. He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He simply felt something inside him collapse. Infidelity doesn't always look like drama. Sometimes it looks like calm apologies and soft voices. Sometimes it looks like the person you trusted slowly becoming a stranger. That night, he understood a painful truth. Love without honesty becomes betrayal, even when wrapped in gentle words. She asked for time. He gave her space. Because even then, he loved her too much to hold her back. He didn't know that this was goodbye disguised as distance. She left without drama. No shouting. No slammed doors. Just a quiet decision that ended everything. He watched her pack pieces of her life, while his own fell apart silently. She said she needed to follow her heart. He wondered when his heart stopped being enough. After she left, the house felt unfamiliar. Silence echoed louder than arguments ever could. Every corner reminded him of moments they shared. Laughter, comfort, unspoken dreams. He checked his phone obsessively. Her name stayed still. No messages. No explanations. Just absence. Days turned into weeks. He tried to stay busy, but grief doesn't follow schedules. It arrives unexpectedly, during meals, during songs, during quiet moments. He replayed memories, searching for mistakes. He blamed himself for being too quiet, too patient, too understanding. He wondered if speaking up sooner would have changed anything. But love isn't about competing. It isn't about proving worth. And yet, he felt replaced. What hurt the most was knowing she didn't fight to stay. Knowing he was willing to endure everything while she chose something easier. He realized that silent love often teaches harsh lessons. Loving deeply doesn't guarantee loyalty. Being patient doesn't prevent betrayal. Still, he didn't hate her. He missed her. And missing someone who chose to leave is a special kind of pain. At night, he wrote in a diary no one would read. He poured his heartbreak into words, hoping they would carry the weight he couldn't. He accepted that some people don't leave because love ends, they leave because they stop choosing it. And that understanding broke him, but it also freed him. Healing didn't arrive quickly. It came in fragments. In moments where he chose himself over memories. In days where he didn't wait for her name to appear on his screen. He learned that loving silently should never mean accepting neglect. Love deserves honesty, effort, and respect. He began rebuilding himself, slowly, patiently. He stopped blaming himself for someone else's choices. He understood that infidelity reflects broken commitment, not broken worth. The diary became his companion. Each page carried pain, but also strength. Writing helped him breathe again. He realized that silence had cost him clarity. He promised himself that future love would never be hidden, never unspoken. She never returned. And he stopped waiting. He carried the lesson forward, not with bitterness, but wisdom. Love should be mutual. Love should be chosen every day. Some people come into our lives to teach us how deeply we can feel and how strongly we can heal. He loved her silently until she left. But he found his voice after. And that made all the difference.